Okay, so Chris Vander Doelen, folks, I just want to tell you. So he has left the day-to-day. We used to read his column in the Windsor Star or reporting and say 34 years. So everything from municipal affairs and labor and health. And I think a lot of the things you did, too, was in the car industry, right? Automobile.
9 years I covered automotive full-time. That was the best job of I think, my 40 years in the news business. I also did environment for 6 years, and I covered City Hall. And I was Canada's first full-time gambling reporter. I just did gambling for years.
I saw that. I didn't know what it was. Well, it was just a gamble being in the business of news right now. It'd be a gamble for some people. But in what aspects was that?
Well, this is when Mr. Doherty came forward with the idea of maybe starting a casino in Windsor to pay for the arena he wanted to build and really had no financing for, and so the city grabbed that idea and ran with it, and then the NDP government of Bob Rae actually allowed it to happen. So the city, if you remember, the city was in a crazed state of hysteria for like 10 years there, leading up to the casino, the opening of the casino, and the first few years of it, when it became the most profitable casino in the world. The Star decided to split that off from City Hall, and I just became a full-time gaming reporter. And it was a lot of fun. And Veronique was covering it at CBC while I was doing it at the Star. So we were approached by a publishing house, and we wrote a book about it called Chasing Lightning, the story of gambling in Canada.
And it's funny you say it, because back in the old days, I was part of the bingo industry, as you know.
Yes.
And I met your wife before I knew she was Veronique Mandel, the way I know her now at the college. But she was part of a group, and it was a serious thing. It was called The Chase, and it was a newsletter that was put out for the gambling addiction and that, and everyone had representatives on that. And she helped with the newsletter because she was a writer, obviously. And so, yeah, gambling in those days and in the old days, I mean, when I was in the industry, it was 13 bingo halls. And that was raising hundreds of...
Didn't it go to 25 at one point?
Yeah, and I'm just saying we were in charge of 13 at one stage. So
yeah, it was pulling in $250 million a year just in Windsor. Like the rest of the world had no idea. And there was the racetrack, the cross-border lottery craze. I mean, the Americans basically had to bring in lotteries because we had them.
Right.
And then the bingo. It was massive. It was full time, and that's not even talking about all the illegal stuff on Erie Street.
You know, in the 17 seasons I've been doing this show, no one's brought about illegal things on Erie Street. So now that you've opened the box, will you go ahead? You want to walk through that?
Well, it's in our book. It's in the book, Chasing Lightning. And everybody knew. Gambling has always been a part of society. And that's one of the reasons why I think Bob Rae was correct in legalizing it in Ontario. We were gambling anyway. It's just that we were sending $600 million a year to Las Vegas. So why not do it at home where we wanted to do it? So I was a big admirer of Bob Rae's, even though his politics are way further left than mine. But he was a smart, decent, honorable guy. And I loved the line he once used. He said, "Why should I legislate your morality?" People were arguing with him about, we don't want casinos, we don't want Sunday shopping. Well, of course, those were just a couple of pressure groups who didn't want those things. It turned out Ontarians as a whole badly wanted Sunday shopping and gambling at home, and they got them thanks to Bob Rae.